Number 1. Fixed timeline theory. According to this theory, time isn't flexible or bendable. It's stubborn, it's unbending, and it honestly doesn't care about your meddling. The past, present, and future are already locked in stone, completely immutable no matter what you do. You could go back in time with all the best intentions, maybe save someone from a terrible accident, stop a war from starting, change the entire course of history, but you wouldn't actually change anything. Why? Because whatever you did back then, you already did it. Your actions in the past were always part of the historical record. There's no rewriting, no altering, no correction possible. You weren't rewriting anything. You were fulfilling it. It's like discovering you were the cause of the very event you traveled back to try and prevent. The physicist who pulled you into his office wasn't actually saving you from a bomb. He was always part of that timeline. So if you ever find yourself holding a real time machine and thinking you can fix things, just remember the fixed timeline says you're essentially just an actor playing a part in a script that's already been performed a million times over. You're not the author. You're not even editing. You're just reading lines that were written before you were born. Number 2. Dynamic timeline theory. Here's the opposite approach, and this is where time actually listens when you shout at it. Unlike the fixed model, this theory says the past can genuinely be changed. And when it does, the entire future shifts along with it like dominoes falling in a chain reaction. Save someone from a car crash in 1982? Congratulations, you've just erased their funeral and maybe your own birth while you're at it. Welcome to the butterfly effect on absolute steroids. Small changes ripple outward and spiral into massive consequences that echo through history in ways you never anticipated. Travel back and make one different decision, and boom, you return to a totally different reality where your best friend never existed, and someone else is living in your apartment. Maybe your parents never met, or they met someone completely different. The person who invented the internet in this version might be someone totally different. According to this theory, time is flexible, reactive, and genuinely unstable. The past is like wet clay that you can reshape, but every time you do, the present reforms around it. Basically, if you're going to mess with the past, you better make absolutely sure you know what you're doing, or at least leave detailed notes about what reality you came from. Because there's no going back to the original if you mess this up. Number 3. Multiverse Theory. This one feels like the universe's way of saying, fine, you want to time travel without breaking everything? Here's a loophole. According to this idea, every time you make a choice or go messing around in the past, a brand new universe branches off in a completely different direction. Change something small and boom. You've just created a parallel timeline where that one choice defines an entirely different world moving forward. So instead of changing your present, you just hop over to a version where things went differently. Step on a butterfly in 1920, you might return to a timeline where insects now rule the earth and Parliament is actually a beehive. Sounds insane, right? It's actually pretty neat because it avoids all the classic paradoxes that physicists lose sleep over. Your original timeline stays completely untouched while your alternate self deals with whatever chaos you created over there. It's like breaking the rules, but only in another universe where nobody you care about has to deal with the consequences. Every possible outcome exists somewhere in the multiverse, and you're just shifting between them like changing channels on a cosmic television. This theory gets even more interesting when you think about the infinite versions of you making infinite choices across infinite universes all at the same time. Number 4. Tachyonic time travel. This idea is based on a hypothetical particle called the tachyon, a particle that, if it exists, travels faster than light by default. And according to Einstein's relativity, anything moving faster than light might just break the rules of cause and effect completely, allowing messages or even people to move backwards through time. In theory, tachyons could send information to the past, making it possible to warn yourself about future mistakes or win the lottery with yesterday's winning numbers. But here's the catch. Tachyons have never been observed, and the math behind them tends to blow up into paradoxes and imaginary mass that shouldn't exist. The problem is that faster-than-light particles would violate causality in ways that most physicists find deeply troubling. Still, in the wild world of physics, tachyonic time travel remains a tantalizing idea, one where the universe might actually let you cheat time, if only the whole thing could stop unraveling in a logical mess. Some researchers continue to explore whether tachyons could exist in hidden dimensions or exotic matter states that we haven't discovered yet. Number 5. Quantum time travel. Now we're talking about time through the lens of quantum physics, where particles can be in two places at once, and normal logic basically goes out for a drink and never comes back. This theory suggests that time travel might actually be possible without creating the paradoxes we've been discussing. How? Thanks to quantum superposition and multiple outcomes, reality exists in a blur of probability rather than following one fixed path. If you go back in time and change something, quantum mechanics says all possible outcomes already exist simultaneously in a quantum superposition. You don't overwrite history, you just fall into a new version where your change makes perfect sense because it was always one of the possibilities. It's like Schrödinger's time machine. You both saved the future and didn't save it until someone observes the result and collapses the probability wave. The act of observation determines which reality you end up in. Confused? Good. That's exactly how quantum physics wants you to feel, honestly. The weird part is that some physicists think this might actually be how the universe resolves time travel paradoxes at the quantum level. Number 6. Wormhole Theory. Picture space and time as a massive sheet, like a rubber membrane stretched out infinitely. Now fold that sheet so two distant points actually touch and poke a hole between them, connecting them instantly. That hole, that's a wormhole, also called an Einstein-Rosen bridge, essentially a shortcut through space-time itself, where distance becomes meaningless. In theory, if one end of the wormhole is moving faster or experiencing time differently than the other end, say by orbiting a black hole at incredible speeds or being dragged around at near light speed due to relativistic effects, you could theoretically walk in one end in 2025 and pop out the other in 1985. Instant time travel through space and time simultaneously. Of course, there are massive problems with this idea: stability, radiation, exotic matter requirements, and, well, surviving the trip without being stretched into cosmic spaghetti by tidal forces. But if it could work, wormholes might just be nature's own time tunnels, just waiting for someone brave or mad enough to try and cross through them. The equations that describe wormholes come directly from general relativity, which means they're not just science fiction, they're legitimate theoretical physics. Number 7. Time loop theory. This is also known as a causal loop or the bootstrap paradox, and this is where time decides to take a cheeky lap around itself into absolute madness. In this theory, an event in the future causes something in the past, which then causes the original event, creating a perfect paradoxical circle that has no beginning and no end. Imagine handing a young Beethoven his own sheet music from the future. He studies it, practices it, perfects it, and becomes a famous composer using the exact music you gave him. So where did the music come from originally? Nowhere. It just exists in a loop with absolutely no origin point. Nobody wrote it, yet it exists. The information appears out of nowhere and loops back on itself infinitely. This is the kind of thing that gives physicists actual headaches at 3 in the morning and makes science fiction writers absolutely giddy because it defies everything about logic and challenges causality in ways that leave you wondering whether you actually did something or if something did you. The universe is just trolling us all. It's one of the weirdest concepts in theoretical physics because it suggests information can exist without ever being created. Number 8. Block universe theory, also called eternalism. This one treats time like a massive frozen lasagna with every layer already baked into solid existence. Every layer, past, present, and future, exists simultaneously in a 4-dimensional block of space-time. According to this theory, all moments in time exist at once, even if you can only experience one slice at a time as you move forward. Rather than time flowing forward and carrying you along like a river, you're just moving your awareness through a fixed structure that's already there, already complete. You're not changing the past or shaping the future. You're simply visiting them, like flipping through pages in a book where the ending's already printed and waiting for you. You've read it 1,000 times, but the words never change. In this view, free will becomes kind of an illusion, and the idea of changing the future is about as pointless as trying to rearrange yesterday's breakfast. It's all there, set, completely static, waiting for you to experience it in sequence. Past, present, future, they're not going anywhere because they already exist everywhere. Some physicists argue this is the most honest interpretation of Einstein's relativity, and that means your future is just as real as your past right now. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to be posting a lot more here. I'd really appreciate a subscribe. Thanks for watching.